You know how it is, you want to really get to grips with something, understand what it's all about, but maybe without getting totally lost in a sea of information.
Right. It's easy to feel overwhelmed.
Exactly. So that's kind of our sweet spot here. We try to sift through the noise, pull out the really interesting and important bits.
The goal is saving you time, hopefully, and maybe sparking a few of those aha moments along the way.
Think of us as, I don't know, information navigators, highlighting the key landmarks.
That works, helping you make sense of it all.
So today's exploration takes us online. Specifically, we're looking at a Kindle store page on Amazon.
Okay.
We're going to delve into the listing for a journal. It's called Behind the White Door, 15 Knobs of Wisdom for Intentional Living Journal, Nurturing Your Growth. Bit of a mouthful. It's by Dr. Phyllis Peltzer.
Mm-hmm. And our mission today is pretty focused, right?
Yeah, just by looking closely at this one Amazon page, we want to figure out what this journal actually offers and, who it might be for, who would find this useful.
Okay, let's do it, based purely on this listing.
All right, let's dive in. So first thing that kind of jumps out is the format.
Uh-huh.
You can get this as a Kindle edition. It says $8.99 here, or there's a paperback for $18.99.
Wow, okay, that's a pretty big difference, a 53% saving if you go digital.
Yeah, definitely something to consider straight off the bat. But beyond just the format, they seem to be really emphasizing an experience.
Ah, okay. How so?
Well, it's described as more than a journal, and quite specifically, a one-of-a-kind Christian journal.
One of a kind.
Mm,
That's interesting phrasing. It makes you wonder what they think makes it unique.
right. Is it the specific mix of content, the structure? We need to see what else they say.
Well, the description does elaborate a bit. It says it was created exclusively to nurture your growth and provide support toward your goals and aspirations as you navigate and overcome life challenges.
Okay, so exclusively created, nurture growth, overcome challenges. That sounds very intentional, like it's meant to be an active tool.
Exactly. Not just, a blank notebook. There's a stated purpose there, focused on actively working through things.
And it looks like there's a personal touch, too. It mentions personal short stories,
Oh.
inspired from real-life experiences.
Oh, that is interesting. So not just abstract advice.
Yeah, grounded in actual experiences, it seems. Makes you wonder what kind of stories. It
Yeah.
suggests, like you said, it's not just prompts on empty pages. There's some narrative element.
Precisely. Including stories like that, it often aims to make the ideas feel more relatable, maybe more impactful, creates a connection.
Makes sense.
And linking this to the bigger picture, the guidance isn't just personal stories. It explicitly mentions guidance from the Book of Proverbs and supported scripture references.
Ah, okay. So that anchors it firmly within a Christian framework, Proverbs specifically.
Yes, for navigating life's challenges, is how they put it. So the theological basis is clear.
And then there's the actual journaling part itself. It says for each story, there are 2 dedicated journaling pages.
2 pages per story.
Okay. Yeah, to encourage personal reflection. They even highlight this as an opportunity to connect with your own heart, with space for your heart's voice.
Heart's voice. That's quite evocative language, isn't it? Emphasizing that internal exploration.
It really is.
Mhm.
And giving dedicated space like that, 2 pages, it reinforces the idea of it being an active tool, like you said. You're meant to engage with it, not just read.
Absolutely. It aligns perfectly with that theme of personal and spiritual growth they keep mentioning.
We also shouldn't overlook, let's see, here, nurturing your growth, positive affirmations. Those are included too.
Okay, so it's quite a package then. You've got the stories, the scripture from Proverbs, the specific journaling prompts tied to the stories, and positive affirmations.
Yeah, it sounds like a multifaceted approach, trying to hit different angles of personal development, maybe.
Seems like it. Aiming for a holistic kind of experience within that faith context, which naturally leads to the question, who exactly is this for?
Well, they're pretty direct about that, actually. The description mentions people seeking a more meaningful connection with their faith
Right.
and wanting a sacred space and journaling sanctuary. So the target seems clearly defined. Christians looking for a structured way to deepen their spiritual life through journaling.
That language, sacred space, sanctuary, combined with nurturing faith in moments of reflection and spiritual growth,
Yeah,
strongly points to someone already engaged with their faith and wanting to go deeper.
it's definitely crafted for intentional faith engagement.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's quickly look at some of the technical stuff, the nuts and bolts on the page.
Sure, the practical details.
Author, Dr. Phyllis Peltzer. Kindle edition, print length. 117 pages. Published January 8th, 2024. File size is pretty small, 2.6 millib.
117 pages. Okay, so not enormous, but substantial enough for a journal format.
And for digital readers, they list a few features as enabled. Page flip, WordWise, and enhanced typesetting.
Ah, those are useful. Page flip lets you glance ahead without losing your spot. WordWise gives definitions for tricky words right there on the page.
Right. And enhanced typesetting usually just means it looks cleaner, reads better on screen.
Definitely quality of life things for digital reading.
And convenience-wise, you don't actually need a Kindle device.
Yeah.
It says you can use the free Kindle app on phones, tablets, computers, or even read it in a web browser.
Good accessibility point.
Yeah.
And it mentions unlimited simultaneous device usage.
Yep. And text-to-speech and screen reader support are enabled too. That's great for accessibility.
Absolutely. Broadens the potential audience.
Interestingly, though, it says X-ray functionality is not enabled.
X-ray usually gives you info on characters, places, themes in fiction. Its absence here might just mean the content focus is less on, like, literary analysis.
And more on the personal reflection and application side.
Exactly. It makes sense for a journal focused on growth. That feature might not be as relevant.
Good point. Okay, shifting focus slightly, just looking at the Amazon platform details themselves.
Standard stuff, usually.
Yeah, it clarifies that purchasing is a content license. Sold by Amazon.com Services LLC. You've got options to buy for others, like gifting it and send a free sample.
Although we don't know from this page if a sample is actually available to send for this specific title. Sometimes that button is there, but there's no sample loaded yet.
True. Something a user would have to click to find out.
Right. Standard Amazon features for flexibility.
Also important, there's a section for customer reviews.
Yeah.
But currently, none are posted.
Ah, okay. So potential buyers don't have user feedback to go on yet.
Not yet. And there's a little explainer about how Amazon calculates ratings, saying it's not just a simple average, they consider other factors.
Right. Trying to make the star ratings seem more sophisticated than just basic math.
And standard practice, again, there are links if you need to report an issue, inappropriate content, copyright concerns, or quality and formatting problems.
Yeah, the usual marketplace safety nets and quality control links, part of the ecosystem.
And finally, just looking at where Amazon slots this in. It's under Kindle eBooks, naturally. But then the subcategories are self-help and spiritual.
That positioning makes perfect sense, doesn't it? Given everything else we've seen.
Absolutely. Spiritual within self-help. It clearly targets people looking for personal growth, specifically through a faith lens.
Nailed it. It aligns perfectly with the content description.
Okay, so let's try and wrap this up. To synthesize all that info just from the Amazon page, Behind the White Door looks like a digital Christian journal.
By Dr. Phyllis Peltzer.
Right, and it aims to help users with personal growth and deepening their faith. It does this by mixing personal stories, scripture references, specifically Proverbs, plus guided journaling prompts, and those positive affirmations.
And it seems very clearly designed for Christians who want that kind of structured, sacred space for reflection.
Exactly. It uses the Kindle format's accessibility while offering this distinctly faith-focused approach to journaling and self-improvement.
Seems like a solid summary based on the listing.
So for you listening, if you're maybe searching for a journal that deliberately combines Christian teachings with space for your own thoughts, and you like the idea of real-life stories mixed in,
And if the digital format is appealing, maybe for convenience or cost.
then this description suggests it could be a resource worth checking out.
Definitely. Now, this deep dive, remember, is based only on the information Amazon provided on this one page.
Good point. We've got a good handle on the structure, the features, the intended purpose.
But that actual experience they talk about, you'd likely get a much better feel for that from, well, actual user reviews once they appear.
Or if that send a free sample option actually works and gives you a taste of the content.
Precisely. Those things would give you deeper insight into whether Dr. Peltzer's specific approach, the stories, the prompts, really clicks with your personal journey, whether that's seeking knowledge, self-reflection, or spiritual growth.
Something to consider beyond just the marketing copy.